They're printing money hand over fist as everyone just buys their stuff. So that's where we find ourselves. But you wanted to go into a specific story of like,
yes.
Okay.
So there's a funny thing going on with a little company called Windsurf, which you might have heard of. So we're going to talk about the history of it. There's been this crazy ass drama with this company called Windsurf, who probably most of you guys have never heard of. And so instead of just being like, this happened, I want to walk you through the story because I think the people it most impacted was the employees at Windsurf. So let's pretend that you guys, back in 2022, you hear about these two MIT students who started an AI coding company. Wow. Back then, ChatGPT isn't out. It doesn't sound that exciting, right? AI is still kind of a nebulous thing. The idea that it would help people code, that's super unlikely. But these two guys were like, we're going to do it. We think we can make it awesome. So you join in at this company, right? Start working as this startup. And by the end of 2022, you launch an AI coding plugin. So this is like people who are programming this tool that they can download into their existing kind of like suite of tools can help them code.
Okay.
You're like, okay, cool. This is actually starting to work. And right at the beginning, you get like 1,000 downloads. Whoa. And then a few months later, you get 10,000 downloads. Whoa. It's like, okay, it's starting to pick up.
Okay.
Like 10,000 software engineers is actually, that's kind of hype. And then about a year later, late 2023, ChatGPT launches, right? And then things go crazy. Or that was 2022, right? 2022?
Yeah, late 22.
Late 2022, ChatGPT launches. Suddenly, AI has just exploded across the world. Everybody's aware of AI. And suddenly, not only
Not everybody. I remember that period specifically because everyone who was young realized they could use it to cheat, and all their teachers did not know what it was yet.
They have no idea.
And they talked to me, and they're in my chat. They're like, there was a 6-month period where it was like, nobody knew.
Nobody knew
what
was going on. So it turns out, against all odds, against common intuition, this stuff was really good at helping people code. And it's worth pointing out here, even though I think for many of us, AI is jammed into our lives in a bunch of areas that we don't really think is helpful, coding is the one thing that is sort of definitively has been very useful and very successful. So as a company, getting a bunch of programmers who are some of the wealthiest people who are willing to spend a lot of money on their programming tools is like the best possible market. And this is like a holy shit moment. So ChatGPT pops. And as ChatGPT pops, within 3 months in February, they have 1 million downloads. So you at this startup, you've been working for a few years, ChatGPT comes out, bursts AI onto the scene, and then suddenly everybody's looking for these AI tools. You have made this plugin called Windsurf, and it is just exploding. So you guys
hit the lottery.
Kind of, right? But you're not like making a ton of money yet, but it is going. It's a plugin. So you start working on your own standalone product. Instead of being a plugin for an IDE, this is its own sort of like coding set of tools. Let's put it that way. So you guys start working on this IDE and you launch it November 2024. This is like 9 months ago, something like that, 8 months ago. So, you've been working on it behind the scenes for a couple of years now. The plugin did well. You launch this IDE, and by July, within 7-8 months, you have 1 million developers using your program. You guys might have heard of something like Cursor, which
making some money
for programming. These things have become super popular. This idea
Is this free?
So I'm actually not sure the exact pricing of Windsurf. Most of them you download for free and then you pay a subscription because what's funny, you guys, the employees, didn't actually make an AI model. You're making tools that use AI models to help somebody program. So I
built a ChatGPT wrapper.
Yeah, I mean that's an aggressive way of putting it, but yes,
yeah.
it's a really, really well-made wrapper, which is to say it's going to use the fundamental AIs that another company built in a way that's very specifically useful for programmers. Yeah, so if you pull this up here, you can see like here's some pricing. Cursor has something similar, which is what I use. So
you just said 1 million users as of the current month, as of July right now.
Yep.